You're here at the Love Token Society table. Can you tell me about love tokens?
Well, I've been interested in love tokens for over 30 years. I've been collecting for 58 years, but in collecting in general numismatics, but love tokens and numismatic related items, which is called exponumia, it's a tangent of numismatics, is something that drew my interest a little over 30 years ago, and I started actively collecting pieces that interested me in various metals, gold, silver, copper, and coins from all over the world, but predominantly the United States. Love tokens, they're made from a coin. What I consider a love token is a coin that's made, it's a token that is made from a coin to show devotion or love, or to deliver a message of some kind, and the messages vary a great deal, from a divorce, most of them to marriage, birth, death, many different subjects. There are pictorials with pictures of things. There are enameled coins. Enameled coins are mostly from England. Enameled coins from the United States are very rare. Most of them are done in England or in Italy, France. I don't know that any of them are actually produced in the United States. So enameled coins on American coins are extremely rare and highly collectible and valuable because Americans collect them, and there's almost nothing to collect. They're so rare.
And how is the actual token made? How do they actually affect the coin?
Well, it's usually done by engraving. It's like here I have an engraver's calling card. This was to show the quality of workmanship that he could do. He was from Chicago. It's got his name and the jeweler's school he went to, and many different types of exquisite engraving that he could do. So if he was looking for a job, he could hand somebody this and say, "This is my calling card. This is what I can do." He probably did some of these engraved pieces, but the history of love tokens actually goes back, in my opinion, to the early 17th century in Austria and Germany. And I have an example right here that's done on a 1624 Austrian thaler, where they would hollow out two coins so they would fit together, and inside they would either have an engraving, but the best pieces have these hand-painted roundels that are all connected together. It's actually made from one piece of thick paper, and they're hand-drawn. And what it shows is a man and woman being married with all the relatives who attended the wedding, and in the end, it shows them having children. So this is a devotion of men and women falling in love and having family. And to my knowledge, this is the earliest of all love tokens. This is where it started. And it gravitated to England, where they would engrave coins. I've got one piece here that's on a Charles I hammered coin that it's actually a birth and death piece, where it shows on one side the wife's birth date and when she died, and the reverse side shows the birth and the death of the husband. So we call that that's a birth-death love token, basically. That's one of the earliest pieces I have, actually, but it's actually done on a hammered coin. And then there's some other English pieces here from the mid-1600s. They're quite rare, very difficult to find.
What are a few of your favorites?
Well, it's really difficult to choose because there's so many. But over here there's a really unique piece. It's a Liberty-seated dime love token that was made into a miniature banjo. All of these are unique unto themselves. There's almost no two alike. So when they say, yes, they're rare, well, they're all rare because there's no two alike. They're almost all unique. Here's a 1811 bust half dollar that's been magnificently enameled.
That's awesome.
Here's a cutout on a 1921 extremely rare date St. Gaudian's $20 gold piece. This is one of the most extraordinary numismatic items in this collection. This is the only cutout St. Gaudian's $20 gold piece I've ever seen. It happens to be done on a 1921 saint, which is one of the rarest date saints in the entire series of St. Gaudian's $20 gold piece. This is about an $80,000 to $100,000 coin had it not been cut out, but of course it's worth much less now, but I like it so much I probably wouldn't sell it for $100,000. It's the only one I've ever seen, and it's unique to this collection. This is a miniature watch, miniature ladies' watch. Well, it was made, the watch was made and won first prize at the Paris Exposition in 1900. And it was made to be concealed inside two $5 gold pieces. It was made to be worn as a pendant on a necklace. This actually won first prize at the Paris Exposition in 1900. It's engraved on the reverse, stating the maker, who made it, and that he won the Grand Prix prize at the Paris Exposition in the year 1900. This is an original Tiffany box that contains a St. Gaudian's $20 gold piece that was struck in 1908. This piece was contracted by Tiffany Company of New York to be made into a personal hidden watch. The watch collapses into the coin snaps shut. Now most people would not know there's a watch inside once this is closed. And there's a secret trigger device in the edge that will pop the door open. It's spring-loaded. And it's so well made you have to have a magnifying glass to find the trigger. It's a very, very well-made piece. These pieces are made only in Switzerland. It's beautifully engraved inside. There's only a few people in the world that know how to make these.
What's your most romantic one?
Romantic to me? Well, this one. Some of the people in the Love Token Society consider this, we call this King Kong, because we consider it the top of the mountain for a love token. And it's not only a love token, it's also a pop-out on a $20 gold piece, a 1908 saint, and it has an engraving on the back that it was made for a man. It's called his Golden Possessions. And he was also the top Shriner in the state of Pennsylvania. And when you open it up, on the inside there are photographs of his wife and two children and a medallion of the Shriners Association. I consider that the top piece. Many people look at this exhibit, and people in the Love Token Society consider this piece probably as good as it gets.
What kind of value?
I paid a mid four-figure price for this, but there are a number of people that have offered me way over $10,000 for this piece. I will not sell anything out of here. If you would offer me $25,000, I would not sell it to you. Wow. I just won't sell it. They would have to buy the whole collection. They would have to. I won't sell any one thing. Here's an early 17th century timekeeping device made out of a 1624 Austrian thaler. This is one of the very first pieces I bought, and it intrigued me so much it led to the rest of this collection over 30 years ago. This was made on a 1624 Austrian thaler, and it's some type of a timekeeping device. This is a bird. It has a moving part on it. This is a bird, and I just flipped up the bird's wing. And this bird is designed to rotate around the coin 360 degrees. There are letters here that represent the months of the year, and over here we have numbers that have one numbered 1 through 12. It's some type of a timekeeping device, and I've never actually figured out exactly what it is, but I do have, a gentleman came up yesterday who was an expert in the history of timekeeping devices, and he photographed this, and he's going to investigate and tell me exactly what this thing is. He was quite excited about this, as he's never seen anything quite like it, and it could be a new discovery piece on one of the first watches ever made in the world. Here's an apothecary piece that commemorates a guy graduating from a pharmacy school. This is one of the most popular pieces in the Love Token collection. It was done on a Morgan dollar, but it's called a gold overlay, where they took a piece of gold and laid it on the smooth side of the coin. And this gentleman must have been a pharmacist. It's a love token between him and his wife, dated from 1895. These folks were from Binghamton, New York. Very high quality piece, and many people that view this exhibit point to this piece because of the gold overlay apothecary pedestal and grinder. This was a Morgan dollar from 1885 that was made into a love token. This piece is from Nebraska, and it was made for an attorney to show and represent the first dollar he ever made. And this was made as a commemorative piece to commemorate that he made that first dollar, and he saved it and handed it down to his family. Here's a pictorial of a hand holding a writing quill, a feathered quill. Cat bus dime. It's infinite. You never know what you're going to read on one of these things.
I see a trade dollar that looks a little naughty. Can you tell us about that one?
Let's say what's called a Potty Dollar, and that was the form of Victorian era pornography. This is one of the finest quality pieces I've ever seen. Usually they're a little more crudely done, but the artist that did this particular one produced one of excellent quality.
And if someone wanted to learn more about love tokens, how would you suggest they do so?
Well, the only book that's ever been written on them is this one by Lloyd Entenman. It was published in 1991, and other than this book, there's only extremely scarce articles like Coin World, numismatics. You can find some information there. I've never gone to the Smithsonian or the A&S. They probably have some research there. I've just never delved into it. But if you're going to want to learn something, read this book. It's out of print, probably difficult to get a hold of, but there's a tremendous amount of information. This man got fascinated about love tokens, decided that he would research the topic out, and he spent many years doing so. He went to England, where all the love tokens seem to lead back to England. And many people think that's where they started, but I don't. I've got pieces here from Austria, from the early 17th century.
So how would one find out about the Love Token Society?
I would suggest that they just Google the Love Token Society, and I think that will probably lead them to more information on how to join.
What's the coolest thing about love tokens?
They teach you a great deal about the combination of people, devotion of love toward one another, history, economics, all wrapped up into one.